Hello. In. Just make sure everything's running correctly. Thanks, Eden. Hey, Throndix. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. We are working on some. Hey, Battle Dummy. Good to have you here. How are you guys doing tonight? We are working on some Blender today. Frenchman and Battle Dummy. That's one way to describe it. Ah, is it not loud enough? Hello, hello. Yeah, you're right. It's quite quiet, right? How about now? Is that better? That still seems a bit quiet. Let me just unplug my mic. Is that better? Perhaps. Let me know if you can hear me a bit better. Maybe if I turn the music down a little bit. If that's better, we'll see. Okay, yeah, def better. Cool. Thanks, Frondix. Okay, today we are working on some Blender. I've been messing around with it a little bit. I made some cool stuff. I'll show you guys what I've made so far. I started off by making a marble coin, but I didn't like it too much. It's kind of cool, but like I was saying to you guys in the chat, in the Discord, the problem with this is if this weighs 1 kilo and you're like trying to pick it up with your fingers, it's going to be quite impossible. So we moved on to our marble cube. Don't save. And made this little scene, which is the one I posted in the Discord. Oh, watch it crash on me. This is the problem with Blender, is it's prone to shooting itself if it has to do too much. Let's see if it works. Making a Legionnaire. Interesting for my world. One of my first art pieces in a hot minute. Oh, you're drawing it. Nice. The blocks design. Exactly right. There we go. Okay, did render. So this is the design we had. And we've got these little cubes, which are kind of cool. Oops. What's wrong there? We've got little cubes here. These are quite nice. They are obviously made of marble, so I've given them like the marble texture, and they're all using the same skin, so I've just kind of rotated them to make them look good. But this is supposed to be like a little beer cup that you'd get in like a tavern, so it shows how small they are. They're essentially the size of like dice. So that was the next one I went with, and then today, or yesterday I guess, I was messing around making the extractor unit. Or trying to, and it's very blocky. It doesn't look great so far, but the cloth part looks okay. I'll see what you guys think once it loads in. But I did it. This is the design I made before. I think I posted it in the Discord. And it's essentially the extractor unit. So they use essentially a big battery, which is stored in like a leather case like this with some arm straps, and a big like rubber pipe that goes to a makeshift like sleeve that wraps around this big metal pole, and then the metal pole you kind of pop on top of the of whatever the marble item is, and it's extendable. And it kind of like melts out. I haven't finished like the cup thing that I was doing, But yeah, I thought it was a fun one to try and do, especially like the cloth was a bit of a tricky one, but I think it's like come out quite well. And then the box obviously is a bit janky with the dial and everything, and the little clasps, but I think it looks okay. So again, it was just kind of playing with it a little bit. But today we are going to be making a few specific things. We'll see, cubes, etc. Right? Yeah. Do you know, I was sat working today, and I have a bunch of TTRPG dice next to me, like D10s and D20s and stuff. And I have a few D6s. So I was just holding them in my hand so you can hear them. You get a bit of ASMR. This is me bouncing some dice. And it's so satisfying. You know, just having like a bunch of dice in your hand. And these are like quite nice resiny dices. Dice. And a few different colours. And they've got like a good weight to them. And I was thinking, this would be a good currency. Like if you had a bunch of dice, or like a bunch of cubes that you would pay someone with, it's quite like satisfying. It's like holding a bunch of coins, but a bit better because you can like really squeeze them on your hand. So I'm liking the dice idea. I think that's a good one. So anyway, today we're going to do something a bit different. We are going to be experimenting and making some jewelry as best we can. I'm not super good in Blender. I've used Blender so many times over the years, and I'm not the best, if I'm honest. But that's what experimenting is about. So I thought it'd be cool to do it for like one of my future videos. The next video I'm going to release hopefully is my next interview, but the one after that is going to be the currency video. So I wanted to make a bunch of 3D renders because I think that's one of the best videos to do it in, because the objects I'm going to be showing there's going to be like a lot of marble objects, so hopefully there's some pretty cool stuff. How do they transport them? Coin, purse, or long string? So I was talking to Fallen about this, I think, in the Discord, and so essentially with a bunch of these cubes, some of them they weigh different amounts. So even though they're the same size, if you imagine like a D6. I think the main idea is that all of them will be about the same size, but they will have different weights, and that's a big thing with marble. That's like kind of the unique element, is that marble can weigh as much as you like it to weigh. There's a limitation on the minimum, like for example, because you can spread marble across like a gun. You can put it on like a gun casing or like a sword casing for like decorative purposes. There's a limitation on how little you put on there. I think I wrote down in my notes it's like 1 gram is equal to like 1 square meter. So quite a lot, in fact, for just 1 gram. But yeah, it can weigh as much as you like. So you could have something the size of a dice that could weigh this. It could be the weight of the moon, for example. You know, there's not that much marble, but just as an example. So anyway, so Full and I were kind of chatting about it a little bit, and he said, "Oh, what's the plan for that?" And so I was thinking some kind of, like you said, Battle Dummy, like some kind of purse, or like a pouch side, and yeah, exactly. But it would have like a shoulder brace, and perhaps it would kind of go under the arm, a bit like a fanny pack or like a bum bag type thing. So you would have that kind of shoulder support. Most people wouldn't carry around like a kilogram. But, you know, maybe rich people, like, you know, upper middle class people would have like 500 grams. So half a kilo, you know, it's not something you would just carry in your pocket. So you'd have it. Fallen. I was just chatting about. We were just talking about the purse thing for these cubes. So you'd have it in this kind of purse, and you'd have your shoulder to support it. So I think that's kind of the plan. Yeah, we'll see. I'll be totally honest. There's a chance I randomly fall asleep in the middle of the stream, for I am EP right now. No worries, mate. If you're tired, you fall asleep. I'll try to make my voice as soothing as possible. Okay, right. So we're going to be messing around, trying to make some jewelry today. We are going to do a quick array. Like I said, I need to practice these. We're going to do them. I remember how to do this. We're going to do we do it? No, okay. We want to do 4. We want to do them in a circle. No. Curve. No. Transform. No. Okay, we do want a line. Offset. Endpoint. Relative. Okay. Right, this might be a problem. Okay, right. We'll figure this out. Right. So we're not going to do an array. Let's turn that off. I'm just going to do the old-fashioned way. And we're going to take, duplicate. We're going to move it. Oops. We want to basically not be touching as best we can. Nice. We'll take these 2, duplicate. And same again. There we go. Okay, got a nice quad here. Hey, Crow's here. How's it going, Crow? Fallen just comes in and takes the crown. I am making, Fallen, I'm making marble jewelry, hopefully. We're going to be messing around with like a few little modifiers. Cylinder. No, cylinder. What's the name of our modifier? Using simple deform. Okay. The plan is to make a torque. So I'll show you my pure ref, just so you guys know what it looks like. I think I can actually show you this now. It's very boring today. It's not super exciting, but it's got my thing on there. Here you go. It's my pure ref. So these are my notes from the last couple of days. There's a few extra notes on there. Just ignore them. But we're going to be trying to make a torque. So this like Celtic band. The problem is essentially they're kind of like woven gold. They're really, really intricate and very beautiful. So we're going to be trying to make that if we can. We might just make like a boring one and just do it kind of like a circle. We might even try like a sword handle or like a dagger or something, which might be a little bit easier. But we'll start with a difficult one because that's fun. So we'll see how far we get. Crow, what a crow did stream, am I right? Very good. Right, didn't that work? It's not applying the deform to all of the objects. Maybe if I join these together. Ah, there we go. Heyo. Okay, that's kind of working, but not in the way I want it to. So axis is correct. Chunking out, is it? Maybe it's because might be because we haven't joined the set the geometry correctly. We have to put it right in the middle. Okay, let's try that. What was our simple deform? Is that working? No. Okay. Not quite. Okay, right. I think we're doing the most difficult one first. So I think let's immediately give up on what we were doing and try bad connection. Oh, I always have bad connection. Sorry, guys. Let's try something a bit more simplistic. We're gonna do. I say simplistic. We're gonna do a dagger because a dagger's fun. And I could probably do a dagger. Let's start off. That. Of course, a dagger. We start with a circle. We need a UV sphere. Stretchy stretch. Flatty flat. Squash it a bit more. Even flatter. Even flatter. There we go. And then we'll immediately chop this in half. In fact, if we just... all the way around. I think we should be able to separate. Oops. Okay. Right, that was silly. Right, there's a better way to do this. Stick on our mesh. Select tool. We grab everything. Like that. We delete. Faces. There we go. Easy peasy. See? Got a nice little blade here. Okay, we want in something a bit interesting. Let's have a look for a 17th century dagger. Quite simple, in fact. We'll say 17th century ornate dagger. Look like a beautiful one. Okay, I can make some of these shapes. The key with Blender is to learn a little bit, and then after that, just be super overly confident. What we'll do is, because we want lots of round shapes, is we're going to use a UV sphere again. We're going to squash it. We're going to stretch it. And then we're going to start messing with this shape. We'll get all the basic shapes in first. A dagger ornamented with marble sounds interesting. It looks more like a ceremony item than a really practical one, though. Yeah, so that's a really good point. This is something I was considering. So you're right. You're right, Snake. Essentially, a marble dagger would not be super useful as like the blade, unless it had a lot of like density in the blade, and then it'd be super heavy. So again, it'd be like very difficult to wield. So what is preferred is in fact, I might make a tube instead. What would be better is if you, let's make this cross. What would be better is if you my brain's not working. If you just put marble into the hilt, so it looks pretty. You'd use like a steel blade or an iron blade or whatever, and then you'd have marble in the hilt. So just like, you know, a marble. Oops. No, what depth? There we go. Just like a marble. Oopsie. Just like a gold knife. I'll get there eventually, sorry. Like a gold knife, you would have it, obviously, not for the actual knife, because the knife would be useless. But, is that straight? It's pretty straight. Is that straight? Probably. So yeah, you want something that's like just looks nice, essentially, not actually used for the metal part. These are ornate handles; they're not actually super flat. Do you know what, we're going to go? We'll come back to this. We'll leave this on the side, and we'll just go back to our UV sphere. Because a lot of these daggers I'm looking at are actually kind of ovally. I'll show you the one I'm looking at. For my reference. So we go with one like this. We've got that kind of, it is kind of like an oval, and then like this will be really easy to do. This bit's going to be a bit difficult, and then we'll figure out the blade bit afterwards. But for this bit, I think I can do that quite easily. As for the handle, what I'm thinking is if we do a bunch of loop cuts, we can make that look quite easily. This bit's going to be quite tricky, but again, we'll figure that out. In fact, what I might do, just to make it look more bladey, is take this middle line just here and raise it slightly. There you go. Oh, okay, that didn't quite work. We'll figure this out. In fact, if I just ignore those bits, if I can. Just raise. Hey. Oh, I see. Do that underneath after. Okay. Kind of works. Do the same on the other side. just a little bit. I mean, it's gonna be like a ceremonial dagger, right? It doesn't need to be like super dangerous. A mad dagger, or sword could def be an ornamental weapon for some religious procedures, like ritual sacrifices to a dragon, or in a specific dances in some places of the world where people make dances while wielding ornamental swords. Yeah, I totally agree, definitely. So it could be used for like actual purposes. So the blade would be sharp, but I mean, it's like not something you would take into battle with you. All right, start working on this. This one here. Like I said, this one's gonna be a bit tricky to do because it is quite specific. In fact, I'm just wondering if a cylinder is better. In fact, why did I do that? That's me being silly. I like really overcomplicatedly just made a cylinder. In fact, a cylinder is exactly what that is, and that's exactly what that is. Sorry. So let's... Oh no, in fact, that's not what they did. We're going to stretch this. I'm going to squash it. I'm going to edit it. So this should be a bit easier to mess with now, actually, because we've got... we can just take this face, this face, this face, this face. If we push them in... Ah, nice. Hell yeah. So we'll push them in first. I'll do it for this side as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a subdivision surface, modify it. Oh. In fact, we're not going to do that. Okay, ignore that. We are going to... We'll start sculpting it. In fact, that'd be a better way to do it. I'm trying to think how big this person's hand is going to be, because the blade, from all the daggers I can see, the blade should be twice the size as the handle. Perhaps if we squash that a bit more. It's about that. Get it down, squash it a little bit. And then cylinder. Oh, I forgot how fun Blender is. It's like I said, as soon as you start to learn like a little bit of how it works, and like these hotkeys and stuff, it's super fun. Oopsie. This is kind of we want it to like not get squashed on the geometry of the handle. In fact, let's sort the handle out first. Give this a bunch of how are we going to do this? Oh, the geometry on this is so weird. Can I do like a loop cut? No. Do you know what? We're gonna. I'm just gonna hide that. And what we'll do is we'll make another. In fact, we'll cheat a bit and we'll take this one. Because these are a bit like more oval, but what we'll do is a bit easier to make this oval than it is to change the other one. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, what are you guys up to? What have you guys been doing this week? Sorry, I've been getting stuck straight in. I haven't been asking you guys what you've been up to. Anyone been busy? Anyone up to anything exciting? In England, it's just getting into spring, which is nice. It's still bloody cold. So what we can do with this is we can select the face. I'll kind of talk about what I'm doing whilst I do it. So you go into edit. It'd be difficult to explain actually. You go into edit. I'm going to select the face button here and select this face. You can these big flat points. So I'll select that face there, and I'm going to is it bevel? What I'll do is hopefully just make that a bit more naturally like transitioning into the blade. In fact, what we'll do before we do that is we'll make it a little bit longer. So at least it fits into the blade well. Try again. That how it looks? Not really at all. Okay. Let's ignore that. Let's go to the original size it was at. Maybe if I just make it a little bit smaller. There. We can put these kind of like rivets on it. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just you learned to make meatloaf. Nice. I never had meatloaf. It's always one of those meals that I think English people don't typically eat, but it looks really good. Question friend, when did you start to utilize Blender? Haven't been on some of the previous streams, so no idea. Just this time, just this week, to be honest. I haven't really been into Blender much over the last few years. But it's one of those things where it's like you just remember how to use it. It's not super difficult to use once you get the basics down. At least if like for doing really basic stuff. Control R. Oops. No, that's not how you do it. Okay. Control R. Hover over the mesh. And scroll the mouse wheel up. Ah, there we go. Okay. Nice. Okay, cool. Alright, let's make it a bit easier. Let's do a lot more. Let's make that bigger before we do it. Give it a bunch of these. I'm going to use these to make the kind of fabric pattern that you can see on the on here. So that, like, these are going to be raised rivets, or like raised bits for the handle, and then we're going to do a lot of the marble here, some of the marble design stuff there, as best we can. How cold is it in England at this time? Probably not as cold as Canada, to be honest. We've got a snow warning this week, but today I think it was lowest 3 degrees Celsius. So not too bad. Still scaling the Legionnaire. Send us over a picture once you've seen it. And once you've drawn it, sorry. Meatloaf tastes like a slightly better burger. That's what I always imagined it to be, like a huge burger. Like a loaf of bread that's just a burger. Ooh, a sword. Hey, Riffy. Thanks for joining us. We're making an ornate dagger out of marble. It's going quite well. Now, remembering most of my Blender days. So, not too bad. What have you been up to? It was my first time trying it. I learned to make it since Sidan likes meatloaf already. Good. Inspired by your own character. I like that. Okay. Right, we're going to take every... Let's take every... Oops. I'm holding Alt. If you hold Alt, it selects the whole line. So you can select the vertices, the lines, or the faces. So I'm selecting the whole line. You hold Alt and it follows the line all the way around, and then Shift Alt will help me select multiple of these. So we'll do like every second one, and just see how this looks. My plan is to make these bigger. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, is it like that? Nice. Okay. Is that the best way to do it? Okay, perfect. So it's got that kind of like texture now. Hey, this is working out. I'm actually very surprised this is working out. Okay, right. Let's, so now we can take that face, and now we can make it smaller because it won't affect like the whole knife. So stretches out a bit. And then we'll shrink it down. Maybe stretch out a bit more. There you go. That looks quite cool. Where how you been, my friend? Awesome. Fighting with my cat for a piece of fish. Did you win? Or did the cat win? Okay, right. Right. Let's do our pommel because that bit's quite easy. So we'll scale this up now. And we'll scale this one up as well. A bit more dramatic. Yeah, it can be a bit bigger than that. Nice and fat. A bit flatter. I'm going to take our rivet and we're going to duplicate it. Shift D. And then we're going to move it across to here. We can duplicate it. Make it a bit smaller. Oops. And move it up. And then just to make it look cool, we'll duplicate the pommel. Move that up. I'll make that a bit more of like a ball. There we go. See? That's a nice pommel, right? Wow, it's not going too bad. Not to toot my own horn, but this is looking pretty cool. You think? I can't believe it. Okay, right. Let's do... one thing we do need to do with this is we do need to have a mirror modifier. And then mirror needs to follow just the x-axis, I think. See if this works. So if I take this face, yeah, okay, nice, right. So now it's mirroring across the inside. Right. So if we go back to layout. So the plan is I'm going to try and draw some illustrations here. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to model. I'm going to sculpt, sorry, and I'm just going to flatten a bunch of this side. Can I search? No. Okay. In fact, do you know what would be better if I just shade smooth? That's too thin. There we go. Oh, nice. Okay. Right now, and if we go back to sculpting, sculpt. Okay, so if we want to kind of we want to keep we want to keep the edge on the side, but we want to flatten this bit here. Because I don't have a drawing tablet for my computer, so it's a bit more difficult to actually. Why isn't that working? How dare you? How dare you not work? Oh, that's not what I want to do. Am I doing it wrong? Sculpt tool not affecting edges. Blender. Lowers activate mesh optimization. Select all, right click to subdivide. Okay. Edit. Oh, I haven't saved it yet. We'll say sword. I guess it's a knife, but that's fine. Let's try again. Ah, there we go. Okay, nice. Right, we do want to flatten that though. In fact, maybe if I just bevel that. That's a bit boring, isn't it? No. That's not what we want. You won. It was close. This belly would be then. How is Cyberstan? Oh, Cyberstan is difficult. It's very fun. I like the difficulty level of Helldivers, so I'm not complaining at all. But it's very difficult. The new enemy type is very challenging. The sheer number of units is pretty insane. But it's fun otherwise. I don't really know what I'm doing with my life on this thing here. We'll leave it like that. Okay, we like angles. That's fine. I'll just pretend that's the reason why. But yeah, I definitely recommend. Cyberstan not out for Xbox yet. Oh yeah, you go. For me, all the new enemies have been great, especially the commander guys. One of my favorites all the time. I agree. I think they're fun. It's like a good new addition to the game for sure. I like the shape so far. Yeah, we'll go for it. I think it's not doing too bad, right? What did you say about cats? But it would go Passapudia. Maybe it's a bad belly. Okay, right. So let's start doing some decorations then. I want the decorations to be marble, and then there to be like an edge of marble. So we're gonna have to be quite specific with how we do it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add in circle. No, we're gonna add in a sphere. Scale it down. Scale it down. Scale it down. A little more. Hey. Oh, there we go. Let's get it down a little bit more. Duplicate it. Do another one over here. And we'll pretend that like the actual dagger won't be super heavy. It's like a very World of Warcraft dagger. But some of the ornate parts in it will. They'll be like. In fact, what we'll do is take this. And I think we're gonna try and model this part. Maybe try and make it look like a. Not to get too over my own head, but we're gonna try and make it look a bit like a badger. Maybe just like an eye or something. It's looking a bit chunky at the moment, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. I like chunk. In fact, what we'll do is we're gonna do add in hey, Isospear's not a bad idea. We do it as like a little diamond or something. Marble's the most valuable, but it doesn't mean they don't like diamonds. Just gonna duplicate these. Mirror. Working? Okay, we'll change it. We're gonna change it to a array instead. Let's do 1. So we can do 2. Does need to be on the opposite side though. Scale. Rotation. Oh, let's do rotation. T. No, we want 180. There we go. Oh, magic. Okay. Okay, so I kind of want an edge on this thing. Oh, I know. Ah, damn. I was doing the subdivision modifiers. Okay, right. It's going to take a little while. No! Why does it go that way? Oh gosh, that'll take forever. What can I do here? Ah, no. Right. Let's do... This might work. Okay. Follow that line all the way around. There's something wrong there, isn't there? We'll figure out. Right, it's looking okay, right? The handle's looking a bit skinny. We can just scale that out a bit. Let's have a look. That's a bit better. Increase the size of our ribbit. Nice. Okay, right, let's start decorating it. So, that one, I guess. Okay. That one, I guess. Okay. It's a bit janky, so I think we need to scale it. Scale it to 2. Let's try 2. That's okay. Right. We'll do our handle in leather. Okay, that's quite nice. Do this one. In fact, we've got to name all these. Say leather. That one metal. This one is going to be our marble. How's that going to look? There we go. I got marble in there. Then should be able to just take that and add marble. Same here. This is going to be marble. Marble. These ones are going to be. We'll make these like a different metal. So we'll call this one. Oops. Metal 2. Use our other metal texture. I think this one's a bit dirtier. I need to shade that smooth. There you go. That's smooth as well. That's 2. That's 2. Hey, I just lose my, oh, you bugger. There we go. we don't really want that to be metal. We want that to be a different material. Let me have a look for some different materials, see what we can find. How's this looking, guys? It's a bit... Oh, it's looking okay, isn't it? The marble's not very obvious, so I think we need to make it like... If I can do like a... What is the handle? It almost looks like ivory or like antler or something. So let's try and find that. We'll say... I use ambient CG for my textures. So I'm going to say antler. No. Bone. No. Ivory. Where's that one? Ivory, there we go. But ivory, it's not going to stand out very well against the ivory. Maybe just like gold. Try gold. Gold. There we go. Oops. Okay. Use a gold texture. Gold. Right, okay. So let's try that. Gold. This might look a bit garish, but we'll see. It's not bad. Do you know, I think the only thing I don't like about it is just those pointy angles. I need to find a way to get rid of them. I think it won't be too bad. Well, the texture's gone a bit weird on it though. Ah, there we go. That's a bit better. That didn't help. Right. So I think. All right. We'll come back to the texture in a minute. I think it's just the shape of those pointy bits that's kind of messing it up a bit. Did I hear you're into Blender only for a week? If that case, then Gosh Texture's ready. Hell yeah. To be honest, Riffy, I have used Blender many times over the years, but I'm sure like you guys, I've had 100,000 hobbies in the past, and Blender was one of them. So I know very, very basic things, basic arrays, basic hotkeys, basic texturing. But there's no way I could build the texturing myself. I've just watched a bunch of tutorials, if I'm honest, yeah. Good soup. Hey, look. Thanks for joining us, mate. Good to have you here. We're building a ceremonial dagger. The knife is looking a bit weird, actually, with that. So, anyway. Okay, we're getting distracted. Let's figure this out. If I can find a way to just smooth over those corners, life will be much better. I need to do it on this side, don't I? Flatten. There you go. Flatten, you heathen. Man, what's not working? Just ignoring me. Very rude. Why isn't it doing anything? Ah, that did something. Oh. We're doing that. Okay. Seems like it's reacting Ah, I see. It's because I wasn't moving it correctly. Okay. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just smush this. And then after, I'm going to smart flatten it. So we'll smush that as much as we can. Smush, smush, smush. And if we go to object. Ooh. Kind of. It's a bit ugly. Right. Do you know what? We're gonna go back on that. We're gonna save it, and then we're gonna redo all that, and then if we have any problems afterwards, we can always figure it out again. It's flat, isn't it? Let's increase the strength and the size a little bit. And we'll go back. We'll smooth it again. Ugh. Gross. Well, let's just open it again. Not quite working. Hell yeah. Thanks, Riffy. I appreciate the support. It's a fun one, and I feel like I know a little bit. I probably know more than an absolute beginner, but it's one of those things that I really feel like I would love to have in my workflow. This and Unreal, I think, would be two things I would love to just be able to do, if I could. Alas, maybe one day. Twist. Ooh. Oh, this could be cool. Ooh, this could be cool. Ooh. Okay, right. We've accidentally found something cool. I think this is going to really mess up the gold texture, but not too much. I'm not sure what's going on here. Not sure about these like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle daggers. What do you think? Good or bad? I've had two hobbies: reading and my setting, which is the newest thing. Nice. I think it's good to just stick to a couple of hobbies, especially if you're trying to do something creative. I think that's super important. Blade texture is yummy. Good. First, you're back in first. Good. Bread with goat's cheese mixed with cranberries and marinated salmon with herbs. Oh my gosh, Fallen, how do you make so much good food? For dinner, I made a carbonara. I did it properly, almost properly. So I did just some spaghetti with pancetta. I cooked the pancetta in the pan first. A little bit non-authentic. I added some shallots, fried it all off, and then when the pasta was done, poured a little pasta water into it, deglazed the pan, mixed up some Parmesan with egg yolk, and then I cheated a little bit. I added some cream cheese, mixed that all up, put the pasta into the pan, and then waited a little bit, and then just chucked all the egg yolk mixture into it, and it was awesome. I was supposed to save some for tomorrow, and I ate the whole thing, and I don't regret it because it was delicious. That is more interesting, but I'm not feeling the gold. I feel like, you know what? Maybe if we make the whole thing marble and then make the little balls like gems or something. Have I got any gems here? Gem. Diamond. sapphire, ruby, and like tomatoes or something. Right. Okay, let's save. Let's try again. Gem. Sapphire. Glass. Let's have a glass texture, right? Free sapphire texture blender. Okay, I'm gonna try and find a nice cheap sapphire texture. That's not sapphire. Sapphire. These are nice. Okay, I found an interesting sapphire texture. I quite like marble stones, but I think we'll try... Ah, that looks so weird. Maybe if I just use a different gold texture, that might be better. So I think the problem is that one has like, it's not like a smooth gold. So if I use like a smooth gold, maybe that'll be better. Let's try that. Right. New texture. Here's smooth gold. Oh, it's a bit garish. Bloody hell. I'm not liking it. I hate it. Alright, we have to figure out this handle. Maybe if I do a more simplistic handle just to start. Let's do that. Right, we're going to hide this. We'll come back to that later. We'll keep all our marble. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a more simplistic one. Let's do a cube. I found a different reference to follow now. I'll show you guys what I'm referencing. I can actually do that now that I'm showing my computer screen. I'm referencing... I reference this one. So it's got this like kind of square bit and then a bunch of brackets. So it's going to be like the brackets I have at the bottom of the base here on the pommel. So that should be a lot easier. And what we'll do is we'll just make the end ones in marble. So actually we'll just, again, we'll hide these. We're not going to delete anything. That should be fun. It should be a lot easier to handle. To handle? Get it? Let's do that. And these two can disappear as well. So what we'll do is we're gonna do the same thing again. So we'll do a sphere. No, let's duplicate. I'm gonna squash. By the way, if any of you guys use Blender, I am. Squash it a bit more. So we're going to add some brackets on here. So. Oops. Oops. Cylinder to rotate that way 90 degrees. Squish. Is that not in the middle? That's the middle. It should be. Why is that not in the middle though? If we scale that, it should work. Oops. Pressing too many buttons. Scale. No, there's definitely something wrong there, isn't there? Alright, we need to make this smaller, I think. Skinnier. In fact, let's get rid of that. Let's move this up. Cool. And then we will... I'm kind of freestyling this a little bit, but... Huh. What do I do? That's gonna... Oops. There we go. Oh gosh. Right, that's where we don't add things in edit mode. I'm in the zone here a bit, sorry, so I'm not talking much. There's probably a way to like better center this, but it's kind of working. Oops. of like a circle on the end. We duplicate that and then move it across to the middle. I'll just scale it down. Like I said, I'm kind of freestyling this, but it's working out okay so far. There you go. That's quite nice, right? We might make this a bit bigger. Oops. Actually, might make this whole thing a bit bigger. Stretchy. Stretchy stretch. Just gonna bevel the end here. Or shrink the end even. So it fits. G a little bit. This needs to go. In fact, this needs to go back. Like that. Okay. This looks a bit more of a realistic dagger, I think. We'll see. My pencils broke several times on now. Often over sharpening, I think, is a case for that. Posted food on the server. One of the bread pieces says Swedish cheese instead of goat's cheese. Hell yeah. I recommend you watch Forged in Fire to look at good guards for the dagger. Nice. I'll have to check it out. I might put like a marble stone in this one. Oops. Up, then I'm going to apply a mirror modifier. Right. There we go. It's not working. It's not working. Why is that not working? How to distance mirror modifier blender. difficult. Make sure it's right in the middle. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's annoying. Right, you know what we'll do? There you go. We'll cheat a little bit. Okay, right. Not the most beautiful blade in the world, but looks like a sword, right? What do you guys think? Not looking too bad. Right, let's do some of the shading then. Put this out. Okay, right, so we want the... In fact, let's make these metal bands out of... Perhaps we can make these out of gold. So then that'll look a bit more expensive. It definitely does look like a sword. Riffy, I'm not sure that's a compliment. It's like if someone said, "Oh, do you think my dog looks beautiful?" and you would say, "Oh, that definitely looks like a dog." I'm not sure I'd be super happy with that response. But you're right. It definitely does look like a little sword. Why? I'm messing with you, Riffy. It's just because it's it's like if someone says, "Oh, does my dog look beautiful?" you say, "Yes, your dog looks beautiful." But if you say, "Oh, does my dog look beautiful?" and you say, "Oh, your dog looks like a dog." Right. How do I unjoin? I forgot to do that. How to unjoin objects in Blender. Edit mode. Approach parts to detach. Press P. Oh god, I'm gonna make a right effort with this, isn't it? That's a face, right? How can I select that? There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, if I do the same for this one. And this one. And this one. Oops. And we press P and selection. Okay. Nice. Alright, so if we do the same again. Oh no. How the hell am I going to grab that? Actually, that's not too bad. P selection. Nice. Okay, so then when I go to shading, I should be able to do that. Okay, perfect. Marble. Gold. Leather. Metal. Ooh. What is that metal? That looks nice. Oh, that's the metal I'm using for this one. Ah, that's why it's so dark. I'm using the wrong metal. There we go. Let's change this one to other gold. Oh, don't like that. God, looks okay. This is just a big chunky. The chunky block is a realistic thing. It's beautiful stars everywhere. Thanks, Riffy. That's a better answer. Good job. Question: any iconography on the blade or hilt? Yes, there should be, shouldn't there? Thanks for dropping in, Fallen. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time, mate. Hand hurts from all the scaling. Yeah, it's probably like traditional art, I think, is more effort. So dagger's looking good. Thanks, mate. See, Riffy. Fallen. Direct. Straight to the point. I think Throndix fell asleep. Yeah, I agree. He did warn us beforehand that he was going to fall asleep, so we shall let him sleep. Do you know, let's do the middle block as marble as well. How would that look? Okay, I think that's kind of cool, right? Let's do. Because we want it to be, like, I mean, marble's the highlight of this video, so we want it to be super marbly. And we're gonna get like a what's it called? Like from Game of Thrones, one of those swords. Working about 0.5. About 0.5. Oh, that's a little bit better. A bit scratchy on the blade. It's a bit closer. Let's try 0.25. No, it's a bit too close, I think. This feels a bit stretched. Why does it feel so stretched? Okay, I think that's okay. Right. What do we think? I think it's not too bad, right? It's kind of cool. Like some gold in there. It's kind of like darker metal. Got a leather handle. Got some marble. And got like kind of the dagger hilt. The actual dagger. Not too bad, right? Let's do a render. If I can carry this over to if I save this as an OBJ file. Yeah, let's do that. Save it as an OBJ. And then I'll open my marble cube one. And then we'll import OBJ. Tiny little dagger. So I'm going to crash it. Oopsie. I'm just opening Blender to see your picture upside down. Sigma's doing some good stuff. Right. Where's my... I'm gonna move it. Let's stick a world light on. That's a bit easier to see. So you'll be able to render this a bit faster. Do this. That's fine. Yeah, I did that to actually look like beer. Beer texture. Maybe I can just do like liquid water beer drink water foam. That could be good. Right, we'll do that as an 8K texture. Okay, I kind of explain what I'm doing, so I'm kind of talking to myself here. So I'm trying to just set up a scene so we can render it. The dagger's here. I'm trying to think about how big the dagger would be. They're about dice size. The dagger actually would be a lot smaller. Bloody hell, we've got to connect all these bits. Looks good. Join. Oops. Join. Just make sure they are joined together. Yep. Okay, good. Alright, scale. So I'm just looking at it compared to my hand. Zoom out a little bit more. That's about the correct size. Zoom it a little bit bigger. Okay, yeah, cool. That's about dagger sized. Right, now we need to reposition it. Okay. That's good. think we do need to sort out this cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. And we're going to separate just this face. This, I'm going to separate that as well. And then when we go into shading, looks like this one. Oops. We're gonna do we'll do wood again, but obviously it'll be its own texture. Wood 2. That's fine. Okay. Right. So let's select this other layer. Save it. We'll try and make this one look a bit like beer. So I've just downloaded a beer foam texture. In fact, I need to unwrap it first, or unzip it even. Where's foam? Foam. Oh, bugger. Cancel. Still good soup. Nice bowl of soup actually would be a good thing to add here. Okay, right, let's have a look. So we want foam. Let's see how this is going to look. It's actually supposed to be sea foam. It kind of looks like just like a glass of water, isn't it? Okay, I mean a glass of water is fine. It kind of still does the job. Not what we wanted, but that's fine. Right, so we want to again turn that light off. We want a better. Oops. We do want some better lighting there. This metal is like very difficult to see, so what we'll do is we'll duplicate that. Pop it down here, so at least we can kind of see the marble for what it is. Oops. camera. Really get a better view of all this. Alright, we'll do render there. See how that comes out. That's kind of cool, right? This is a bit too dark here. And the leather's very reflective. I mean, it's clearly a dagger. And these do kind of look like dice, but then we've got our drink there as well. I think it's looking okay. I think the render... Let me see if I mess with the render engine. Where is it? Can I increase this? Let me save it. Let's see if I can save it in 4K. 4K resolution. So I'm just going to try and... Oops. So we'll see what that looks like now. More strenuous. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. Oh, I think it's crashing. Well, we tried. The best. No, I think we're gonna lose it. Whoopsie. That's back. Oh, nice. That looks good. Cup looks okay, but the render looks quite nice, right? You can save that. Dagger and cubes. It's a bit of a shame you can't see the pommel. So maybe if we just lower it down. Like that. We need to edit the lighting a little bit more though. There you go. That's nice. Super dramatic. Okay, let's try that. Again, this probably might crash it, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, it's gonna crash again. Oh, we tried. Question: the ceremonial dagger in what looks like a tavern? Yes, that's exactly it, Crow. Thank you. Right. It's a good day's work there. What I might do for the currency video is I'm gonna do a couple of these renders and just see what people think. What do you guys think? Do you prefer just illustrations, or would you like a bit of a mix? To be honest, the majority of it is always going to be illustrations. In the previous video, I had like a few stock photos and stuff. What do you guys think about adding a few like renders and like a 3D renders and things like that in there? Renders and like a 3D renders and things like that in there. Is it a good idea, or should I just keep to the thing? Mix. Okay, we're voting mix. I think, to be honest, mix is interesting for me. Mix as well. Okay, perfect. I think I'll always, yeah, exactly, like some 3D. It'll always be mostly 2D because I think that's what I like doing most, and I mostly have access to my iPad, so it makes it a lot easier. But stuff like this is fun. It's like interesting to make, and it's a good like skill set mix as well. Okay, good. Amazing. Well, I think we'll call it there. Quite happy with the dagger. I think it came through quite well. Let's turn our world light on and have a look. It's like a fun little piece. Not too badly made. It does look quite ornate and realistic. I really love these little cubes. I think that's my favorite thing, to be honest, is these little cubes. They're very simple. I'm going to make some more because they're supposed to have different shapes to represent the numbers. So obviously circles are currencies of 1. So 1 gram, 1 kilogram, 10 grams, 100 grams, for example. And then a triangle would be a currency of 3. So 3 grams, 30 grams, 300 grams, for example. So I'm going to make some more of these for the video. So that should be quite interesting. But we'll see. We'll see. Post in the hour. I'll check it out now. Is that done? Right, guys. Well, thank you for keeping me company. I appreciate you guys helping me with this. It's nice to make something a bit different. I'm gonna mess around with streaming a bit more on my computer as opposed to my iPad. So I think it just means I can do some different kinds of stuff. Yeah. Is the video super slow? On my screen, it's very janky. Is it coming through like really, really slowly? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's just because my connection keeps cutting out, or if that's just how it's working. But anyway, right. I think I'll call it for a day. Call it for the day there. Thank you for joining me, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Iden, Crow, Riffy, Lux, Fallen, Throndix, if you're asleep in the background somewhere. Appreciate all you guys being here, and I'll see you in the Discord, or I'll see you next week. It is janky. Okay, I need to figure out my internet problem. Is it always janky, Sidon? Is it always like that, or was it just today? Because it might just be the fact that I'm running it in Blender and trying to stream it at the same time. Is it janky for you, Riffy, as well? Like jumping around a lot. And Crow as well. Sometimes. Okay. Well, I'll have to think about it. Today. Okay, it's just today then. So maybe it is Blender that's kind of messing with it. Okay. Well, thanks again, guys. Appreciate you being there. And I'll see you in the Discord. I'll see you next time. Maybe because of Blender. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh well. Cheers, guys.